This weekend is the 2-year anniversary of putting in my 2 weeks notice at my day job delivering paint to go full-time on YouTube. The reason I was able to do this with my wife's approval and sustain it through last year when new movies and blockbusters weren't coming out is because I had a plan with diversified revenue streams. So today I'm going to let you know the 8 streams of revenue I have for my YouTube channel so that I can do this full-time, and a few pointers on how you can make some money even with a small channel. So let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Sean, and I started my main YouTube channel in the summer of 2016, and 2.5 years later, I was able to quit my day job and go full-time talking movies way too much on YouTube. And this channel, Real Creators, exists to help you have success with your YouTube channel. Today, we're talking about my different streams of revenue, and I just think it's so important to diversify where your income is coming from because there's so many variables that are outside your control as a YouTuber, and therefore you want to kind of have some safety nets for the ups and downs. One of the reasons I didn't really sweat it last year when in March they announced pretty much all blockbusters were canceled for the year was because I had multiple different options to pursue to generate income. I had multiple safety nets in case my views dropped or if YouTube went wacky. A few years back, there was an ad apocalypse where ad rates just dramatically dropped. So I always want to make sure I'm playing it safe, and that's why I have a whole bunch of different revenue streams. And let's get started talking about what they are. Kicking things off is YouTube Adsense. This is the built-in partnership program for YouTubers that's included to where when ads run on YouTube, YouTube shares the ad revenue with the creators. Now, you're not immediately monetized. You have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. And as soon as you get that, then you're monetized, and I think it's something like a 60-40 split where the creator gets 60%, YouTube gets 40% of the revenue. It's something like that. For my channel, I get normally about $2.50 or to $3 for every 1,000 views. So it's not like a ton of money. It's not like 100 views gets you a lot, but it's somewhere in the range of $2.50 to $3 for every 1,000 views. So 1 million views is worth about $3,000. So you're not getting rich even if you're getting 1 million views per month. But here's the other thing you have to consider. With the way AdSense works, it's not based off views, it's not based off subscribers, it's based off the number and the quality of the ads that run and who they run in front of. So there's several different things to kind of unpack on that. But basically, if you've got a channel that you're reviewing tech stuff, expensive tech stuff that a lot of older people or kind of middle-aged people with a lot of disposable income are watching, your ad rate is much higher than my audience. My audience is global. It's people all over the world and a lot of teenagers that don't have as much money. So YouTube ads running in front of them don't pay as much because they don't spend as much. And so it's based off what ads run and who they're running in front of. One other kind of YouTube expert person from this last year, named Catherine Manning, she shared how much money she made in the month of December. And she had in the month of January, she had under 1 million views, but she made over $10,000 from AdSense. I had more views than her in the month of January, and I did not make half that much from AdSense. And so just different places pay different amounts. My ad rate in December was twice what it was in January. The 2 months had about the same number of views, but I made twice as much money from AdSense in December as I did in January, because once again, it's how much people are paying for ads and who they're going in front of. The month of December, right before Christmas. Therefore, ad rates skyrocket. But it depends on the type of channel you have, the type of audience that you have, and then also the number of ads that run. So if your video is, I believe it's now 8 minutes long, you can put multiple ads in your video. So maybe they run at the beginning, and then if it's 10 minutes long, you can put one right in the middle of it so 2 ads can run. 2 ads equals more money. If your video is an hour long, you can put 6 ads in there and you're only running an ad like every 10 minutes. More ads equals more money. So there's a lot of factors that go into how much money you make from AdSense. But the key idea is the more views you get, generally speaking, the more ads will run. So if you want to increase the number of views that you get, I actually put together a mini course. It's 4 parts. It's totally free. And essentially, it's the 4 secrets to understanding how do you grow on YouTube? How do you get more people to watch your content on YouTube? How does the algorithm work? What do you need to do to kind of feed all of that? I put together a 4-part mini course. You can sign up for it down below at the link in the description. Totally free. You just have to sign up for it. And then each day you'll be emailed one new lesson. So it takes like 4 or 5 days to get all of the lessons. Link is down below in the description. And I'll say this, for my channel, AdSense is my #1 revenue stream, and it has been for my channel's entire history. I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to even it out because I don't want to be so reliant on needing to get views, needing at YouTube to pay good ad rates. I don't control that. Therefore, I want to have my base of my income coming from things that I can control rather than things that I can't. So I'm working to change that, but this is my #1 by a good margin. And especially prior to 2020, this was where the bulk of my money came from. Income stream number 2, it's SuperChats. Now, when YouTube does their payouts, both SuperChats and AdSense are kind of in the same thing. They're kind of combined in your analytics and everything you see. It's all kind of that same pool of money, but it's actually technically something different. AdSense is based off the ads that run. SuperChats or supers, there's several kind of stickers, some other things in there too. And the big idea is when you do a live stream or a premiere, people can pay money to have their comment or a sticker kind of stay on top of the chat. So whenever I do live streams, people ask me questions and they'll pay money to ask questions. Some people be like, hey, I love your content. Here's something for your coffee fund. And they just kind of throw some money into the pot to help me out. So generally speaking, these work best when you have a channel that's large enough that if you do a live Q&A, it's tough to get access to you. So if you've only got 100 subscribers, there's not like, and you do a live stream, you only have a few people in there, maybe 10 people in there, whatever it is. It's probably not going to be a ton of people. And therefore all of them can get their questions to you. When I do a live Q&A, there's normally 200 or 300 people in there asking questions like crazy. So to cut through the noise, a super chat is the way that you can definitely get your question in front of me. So if I do a live Q&A, I'll normally pretty easily guaranteed get $50. Sometimes it's up to like $200. It kind of depends. It's very uneven. When I do my live podcasts, generally I've gotten like $30 to $60 in super chats. This is another one that is split 60-40 with YouTube. So $100 worth of super chats, you get super excited about it. And then 2 days later, you lose $40 to YouTube and your $100 turns into $60 or $200 every time. I'm like, yeah, $200, that's amazing. And then when it drops down to $120 a day later, I'm like, oh, that's a little bit less fun. But so in seasons where there's less stuff coming out and I don't have as many things in place, super chats can be really big for me. So back in March and April of last year, where they just dropped new releases and I was like, what do I need to do? I just need to find some way to get some income. This was something I did more Q&As and things to just try and add in a little bit more money into the mix. Third stream of income is Patreon. This is essentially a website that allows you to have a membership page. YouTube itself, since I started using Patreon, has introduced their own system called Members, and I haven't used that at all. If I could go back 4 years in time, perhaps that's what I would have done. I would have just used their system, but it didn't exist when I signed up for Patreon, and I wasn't worth it to me to try and convert. But so Patreon, it's a website that doesn't cost you any money to sign up for, and it just creates an opportunity for you to have a members site. And so for me, when I first kind of was starting out, I was getting like one patron for every 1,000 subscribers. So that's not a lot. And then once I started to kind of get some traction and my channel kind of took off, it was more like one patron for every like 3,000 subscribers. So that's not a lot, but I grew pretty quickly for a little while there. And then that's evened out a lot. So right now I think it's something like one patron for every 500 subscribers, something like that over the last year. But this one took a long time for me to figure out how to get people to sign up and really offer value. The key thing if you have a Patreon page is you have to be able to offer value, and that's tough to do before you have critical mass. So if you're starting out, you can start a Patreon page and, your mother, my mother was my first patron to sign up, and maybe some diehard fans. You'll have a few people and maybe make $10, $15 from Patreon, but it takes a while to get to a critical mass because it's not just based off subscribers, but it's people that care enough to be able to invest money. And if you have a full-time job, if you're a student, it's a second place that you have to dedicate time to kind of make it worthwhile. So I had heavily debated canceling Patreon entirely for my channel going into the year 2020 because it was dragging so far behind the rest of my channel, and actually started working with a business coach in December of 2019. And he gave me just a couple of right tips, couple of right ideas in my head that dramatically changed that for me on how to kind of do Patreon right and kind of create some hooks that could drive traffic over there, but more importantly, offer a lot more value. And so over the year 2020, it became this crucial element to kind of fill in that gap because blockbusters weren't coming out. My views dropped, therefore my ad rates dropped. In March and April, ad rates dropped just because the economy tanked for a little bit. And Patreon kind of filled in that gap a little bit. And after a year of really trying to add a lot of value there every single week, having unique exclusives that could really honor the people that decided to invest money into supporting my channel, it's grown tremendously over the last year and has become kind of a significant percentage of my income and a pretty little cool community where I get to know people better. And while I have a lot of subscribers on the main channel, I can't know people as well because there's so many. And on Patreon, it's a community where I get to know people better, which is pretty cool. Next up is t-shirt sales. Now, this isn't one that I make a ton of money off of, but it is a steady stream every month, just a little bit of extra money. There's a bunch of different websites out there that can kind of handle the store side of it for you and the production side. I use TeePublic, there's Teespring, there's some ones that partner specifically with YouTube. And basically there's two ways that you can make money with them. I'll just kind of use the site that I use, TeePublic, as an example. First one is the obvious one. I designed a t-shirt. I upload the t-shirt sells, and I make money off of it. The second one is by promoting other shirts on the website. So TeePublic has thousands of creators that upload stuff to their site. So I can go through and find all the ones on their website that I like, and I put them on my page. And so some people think, wow, you have the best shirts. You have so many shirts. Like, no, I have like 4 shirts, and all of them say I talk movies too much, or they say Sean Chandler Talks About. And then all the other stuff is just curated stuff from the store. So when one of those shirts sells, I make like $1. I don't make a ton of money, but there's a lot of cool stuff there. So it's easy to kind of get someone onto the website by promoting some of these other shirts that are available, and they sell masks and stickers and a bunch of other stuff on there too. But t-shirts are the big one. And one of the things, like in my videos, I'll try and find a shirt that lines up with the video I'm talking about. And so I'm a walking billboard just to kind of drive traffic over, like, hey, if you like this shirt, you can get it over there. And I just pin that comment, drive some traffic over there. Number 5, sponsorships. Now, this is the one that everybody wants. They want to be able to talk about some product for 1 minute, 30 seconds, get a check directly for doing that. Nice and simple, clean their hands of it, make a lot of money for a single video. And when you get sponsorships, they're pretty cool. It is really nice when you can get a sponsorship, but they're not actually all that easy to get if you want to get good ones or ones that fit your channel or make sense or pay well. I have people really pretty regularly messaging me like, hey, I want to sell these dog treats or something like that. And they're willing to pay money, but it feels so off-brand that I don't go for it a lot of the times. And so I try to think things that either are paying a good amount or that just make a lot of sense for my audience. I had someone ask me, I had put out a community post asking people for questions related to this. I said, how do you get sponsors? The short answer is basically you have to actually have a legitimate audience and consistent views. Like even if you have 10,000 subscribers, but if they look at your channel and they see you only get 100 views for video, that's not worth much to them. It's worth very little to them. But if you have a series that consistently gets views, they see that and they go, okay, I can probably guarantee I'll get so many views for this. And so they start reaching out to you. So I've had a number of companies reach out to me. We are willing to pay, or what is your rate to be on one of your all of these things ranked videos? And they'll say that. They will literally identify the language of the series, all 15 blank movies ranked. They know my rankings are the one that consistently get views. They do not ask to be sponsored on my movie reviews because they get less views. So they'll frequently reach out to you and maybe you have to negotiate a little bit. There's several different ways they work. Sometimes it is just a flat amount of money. Sometimes it's we'll pay you this much no matter what. And if you get to this many views in the first week, we'll pay you this much more. It's always really cool when that happens, or whenever you're directly getting money. It's always nice. Other ones, it's a flat rate plus 15% of the sales that come from it. They come in all different forms. The other thing that you can do is you just simply hustle and you reach out where you think you've got a series that gets enough views. You think that this company is a good fit for your audience that'll serve them well. And you just reach out to them, emailing a bunch of them saying, hey, this series I do always gets this number of views. I would be willing to do a sponsorship with you for this amount. And you just try and reach out to them and see who responds back. Some people won't, some people will. And you just hustle to try and build connections. But the reality is if you've got 100 subscribers, you're not going to get a sponsorship. Like that, you really have to have a lot of subscribers to get sponsorships. And I had quite a few offers in 2019 when things were red hot with the film industry. I got very few offers last year. I didn't get very many people reaching out to me. So certain companies, they just kind of like backed off. The people I emailed, they backed off because it just wasn't as reliable as a space. They couldn't pinpoint an event that they want to be associated with, so there wasn't as many opportunities. But honestly, when you get them, it's really cool. They're also a hassle because then you suddenly have to like get your video done early and then you have to run it by them and they have to approve it. And there's this back and forth that when you're used to just working for yourself, it's really frustrating. But they're paying you, so it's pretty cool too. Then we have affiliate links. And while I do have 2 more income streams, these first six are ones that are just directly YouTube related. Affiliate links are basically online stores. Most of them have affiliate programs that you can sign up for, where basically you can promote their products on your platform wherever you have influence. And if someone buys using your affiliate link, you get 5% of the purchase or whatever it is. It's different for every store. It's different for every product, different rules to it. But basically you work with the store. If you promote their stuff and if you get a sale through it, you get a percentage or a commission from that. So the big one that a ton of YouTubers use is Amazon. Naturally, big, gigantic, massive store. They have everything. And so if you're talking about your Blu-ray collection, you put a whole bunch of links down below in the description to affiliate links and you say, hey, if you want to buy one of these, the link is down below in the description. I bought this for $5 on Amazon. Link is down below in the description. If they use your link, you get 5% of that sale. Now, 5% of a $5 sale is a quarter, so it's not a lot. Here's the cool part, though, that the way Amazon works is that whenever someone uses your link, it puts a cookie on their computer. So anything they buy from Amazon in the next 24 hours, you get credit for because you drove them to the website. Anything in their cart. So I've had situations where I've gone into my like affiliate report and I've been looking at it and I've been like, what? College textbook? What is it? Shoes? And so someone clicked on my link related to like a movie poster or a Funko or a Blu-ray, and I got like 10 cents related to what I promoted. But then they bought a textbook that cost $50. Some people bought cameras and stuff like that. I promoted a product related, to real creators. It's, like a mic that's $100. They bought the mic and then they bought $1,000 camera. Well, 5% of $1,000 camera is quite a bit more money. So there's stuff like that happens. Like I said, it's not specifically 5%. I'm making that number up. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't had a ton of success with Amazon. And so I don't do as much to probably drive traffic over there as I probably should. But once again, it's a numbers game of if you drive enough people over to Amazon, someone's going to buy something expensive eventually. And you have these days where you just look at it and you're like, wait, I made $50 yesterday from Amazon because someone bought a camera? What? And that hasn't happened a ton of times for me, but it has happened multiple times. So it's something to consider. But Amazon's just one option. The one that's huge for me is Audible. Sometimes in my videos, I say this video is brought to you by Audible. It's not technically a sponsorship. It's an affiliate link, and I'm just promoting their product. And they're not paying me directly to talk about it, but I get a commission if someone signs up using my link. And so, they have a really good rate. So I've had some videos that if you look at them, you'd think, oh, that only got 4,000 views. And I told you earlier, $3 for every 1,000 views, 3 times 4. Oh, we made $12 on that video. No. I promoted Audible. I did that video to drive people to Audible. So I ended up making over $100 on this video that otherwise I would have made $12 on. So some of these ones that seem kind of like random book reviews that I do, or ones that seem like I probably didn't make a lot of money. No, I had a second revenue stream. That was the trick to it that kind of drove up how much money I made on it. So, but there's all kinds of programs out there. So whatever you do, what are the things that your customers would be interested in? What would they or your viewers be interested in? What would they actually purchase, buy, be interested in that you talk about? You look for an affiliate program related to it, and you find a way to bring it up in a way that adds value for your audience. Number 7, speaking. Now, this one isn't directly a source of income related to YouTube, but it is a source of income that I have had that's significant since I've gone full time. I used to be a youth pastor, so I've done a ton of public speaking, and I was hoping last year to get into more speaking at Comic Cons related to YouTube and nerdy stuff, but then the world got shut down for the obvious reason. So that didn't end up happening, but I still spoke at a couple of youth retreats in January and February of last year. So I don't know, like 10% of the money I made last year was from speaking. And I don't actually know what the number was. I'm making that number up. But so you just think about it of what are the other services that you have? Like if you want to go full time, if you want to that for me, what it was like, what else can I do that I can just find ways to just cushion my income streams just enough? And so speaking is something that I do, and I'm hoping to turn that into part of my YouTube career, especially with kind of the real creators and the expert stuff here. But thus far, I've only done free speaking related to YouTube. Got to speak at a Comic-Con a couple years back, and local private schools, and even, I guess, my kids' schools had me come and speak and do career days and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. Final source of income, I created a course on YouTube. This was something I did last summer. I just mentioned that I really wanted to do more speaking at Comic-Cons in 2020, but then the universe shifted, and so I decided to pivot. Instead of just being like, okay, I'll just kind of delay my hopes of doing some YouTube expert stuff, I went, what's something I can do while I'm stuck at home? I can create a YouTube course. So I spent basically May, June, July, August, and the first half of September writing and filming and editing a YouTube course that I released in beta last summer, running parallel to while I was filming it. And then over the last couple of months, I've started to release it. It does cost money, but it's about 50 lessons. It's everything I know about YouTube. Like it goes into detail. I pull up, the analytics. I walk you through exactly what I study. I talk to you, how do I brainstorm things? How do I structure my videos? Exactly why, like I said, over 50 videos. Some of them are 30 minutes long, so it is a long course. It's over 10 hours. I've got interviews with 4 full-time creators on there. Just provide as much value as I can. So if you're interested in that, once again, there's a link down below in the description. It's everything that I did to turn my nerdy hobby into a full-time career. So if you want to kind of like just turbocharge your path, there's an option right down below. But like I said, I also have a free 4-part course, and Real Creators is here once again also to deliver value. But that is something I did to have one more stream of income, to be less reliant on YouTube's AdSense and its mechanisms. One final thought on YouTube and making money is you always want to be thinking about every option that's on the table. How can you have multiple things working at the exact same time? So things changed for me a great deal because of the way that 2020 played out. But in 2019, when we were getting a big blockbuster every single weekend, I would look I would think about every big blockbuster release and think, how can I point this towards all of these different revenue streams? I don't want to mention 30 things in my video because then you just overwhelm people, but how in this video can I point them towards one of these things? But I'm going to make 3 videos related to this franchise's big release. So how can each one of these videos touch on each one of these different revenue streams so that audience for that type of content, whatever franchise it is, if it's Marvel, DC, a horror franchise, whatever, I want all the people related to it to know about all these revenue streams and in some little way point them towards it. So always be thinking creatively, cleverly about it. Don't overwhelm people, don't oversell, but always be thinking, how do I add value and keep these different things in front of different audiences. Hopefully this was helpful for some of you, kind of knowing how YouTube works, where the money comes from. And for some of you creators, maybe it gave you some thoughts on how to either start making money as a small creator, or if you're someone on the rise, it's giving you some ideas on how to diversify your income. And maybe you can go full-time in the near future with a bit of a safety net underneath you because of it. Talk to you next time.